Well, I mean, it's obviously either them or the Eagles right now, right? Those are clearly the two best teams right now. So the only logical thing to do is acknowledge that. Hey, Sam. Uh, okay.
An open bar would have been
That
nice.
what brings you aboard?
Oh, yeah, I
Absolutely.
remember what I was
Thanks
doing
for
now.
every credit we've got.
Okay. Hey, big country. So, given the fact that Cowboys have a really rough schedule, could they miss the playoffs? Is that a possibility?
You look a bit lost in these surroundings. Hello? You here for the charity event? Dombrowski, he's the exec holding court over in the VIP area of the ballroom. Yeah, sorry. I work for UC Security, not Galbank. I don't really know him personally. You mean specifically? Oh, I work for the Corporate Fraud Division. We monitor all of the major megacorp financials and transactions to ensure that nothing improper occurs. You're asking a lot of strange
Bengals
questions.
looked back
What
to
exactly
full
do you
power
want?
today.
Claudia sent you, did she? Look, friend, I don't know if you're just a little drunk, maybe a touch crazy, or both. Whatever you think you know about me, you're dead wrong. So back off.
Hey,
You are
Trevor.
a liar and an absolute disgrace to the United Colonies.
Worried? Why should I be worried? Anything you try to report will boil down to your word against mine. And since I work for UC Security, who do you think people will believe?
The society chair has really outdone herself this time. Have you
Quite
tried
a
the
lovely
cannabis?
Starliner.
I saw your little exchange with Vera. Keep that up, and I guarantee that
How did you
imbecile's
see
gonna
that, Rokov?
demand that you be arrested. Which is why he's threatening you. That makes sense. We need hard evidence of their scheme. But it's gonna be tricky. The problem is he's not gonna talk to you in public. We need to get Vera isolated so he'll spill everything he knows. Maybe. But if something goes wrong and he's able to raise an alarm, we're sunk. With all of these wealthy patrons aboard, the ship is crawling with security.
Today was ridiculous. The dude rips his helmet off on the field and the referee just tells him to put his helmet back on. That was really bad.
Smart. If there's an emergency, standard practice is for all passengers to clear the decks and report to their cabins for lockdown. I think the best chance we have would be to tamper with the life support sensors.
The Chiefs game, right, guy?
Manipulate a few controls, and you can fool the monitoring system into thinking there's a life support failure. And there you have your emergency.
Whatever it takes. He's talking about tampering with the only system keeping everyone on this ship alive.
Don't worry. It'll be as easy as it was mingling with the guests at the party. Just throw a few lousy switches and you're done.
What?
One more thing. If Chief Engineer Sundin gives you any trouble, tell him I'll erase that gambling debt he owes me. I prefer you use that as a last resort, but hey, what's the harm in losing a few credits when I'm on the brink of rejoining the fleet, right? Anyway, I better start packing. Things are getting hot around here, and won't be long before Trident figures out you had help. There's access to the crew section that you can reach through the Starview Bowl.
Good evening,
Chief
Snacks.
Sundin should be there, wasting time at the station as usual. Have fun with that guy. He's a real piece of work.
Yeah, I'm
Once you're past Sundin, just
What was that? Hello?
just blah.
Feeling up to it tonight?
Yeah, I can chill here, but going back out, I'm like, I know the bonus is huge, but goddamn, like, ugh. Plus, I just really don't like door dashing after the sun goes down. It's very difficult to see where you gotta go. And usually my ratings tank, because, like, people who make orders very late at night
Hmm.
are huge assholes, man.
Makes sense.
So, it'll be the same quality of delivery, and yet suddenly I start getting spammed with 1-star reviews.
Not because you did anything wrong, but because you're... Sam, I
Not
started it when
because
it came out.
no, it's not because I did anything wrong. A large part of that is because
Good
of how
remark.
long it takes to
Environmental
get
control.
food late at night, because there's
Everything I
only a
need
few
is
places
inside.
that are open and they're drive-through only. So you'll stay in
You
that drive-through
seriously need
for
to
40 or
ask.
50 minutes.
Okay, I'll give you 2 reasons.
Then all of a sudden
First,
I'm
go
getting
back,
1-star
protect your
reviews
home.
because people are blaming me
Tell
for
them
that shit. And I'm like, I
Grossguard
didn't
they
do
send
a
a
goddamn
pick
thing
after
wrong. This doesn't
every
have
cruising
anything to do with
fleet ship
me.
they can find. Not something Delgado wants, I suspect.
Now, I do want to do a Starfield session tonight
And
because it's
second,
been a while.
You offer
Either way.
Gal
Yes.
Bank employee in every single
I
Gal Bank facility
think that's a
in the
good
7
call.
systems will triple their security.
Because I
gotta
am
guess
barely
that will
conscious.
help with whatever your plans are regarding
Right, guys,
Gal
Snacks
Bank.
is
Now,
happy about the Dolphins, but there are other things in life as well. It's not that simple.
Yeah, how I feel about the game is a win is always good. It doesn't matter if it's a sloppy
Good to have
win.
somewhere to
It doesn't
be.
matter if it was a win by the skin of your teeth. And it doesn't matter if it was a complete historic blowout that you win with 70 points scored. A win is a win. To me, they are all created equal.
Especially
Because
in
at the
October.
I've done this particular
yes,
cruise run several times, and I can
because
assure you
at the end of the
it's
season,
quite safe. Please
you
remain
know,
in designated
how often does it really come into
passenger areas
effect
at all times. Have a safe journey.
in terms of the playoff seeding, how many points you scored and how many points you allowed?
Mm-hmm. Almost never.
99, exactly, like 99.9% of the time, what matters is your actual fucking record. And any time that your record alone wasn't good enough to determine your seeding, it usually comes into your divisional record. You know, all the rest of that shit is completely irrelevant. So, sucks that we lost to the Bills, but it was our only loss. But because it was a loss in our division, you know, you don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot to be happy about with this Giants game. There was a lot to be upset about in this Giants game. I'm not super upset about the 102-yard pick six.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, exactly. And not only that, but it wasn't like an amazing play on the part of the defense. So much as the receiver completely fucking fumbled trying to catch it and the ball got tipped in the air. At that point, it's a jump ball. Anybody can fucking get it. It could have happened to anybody on any team playing against any other team. The worst defense in the league could have had that same fucking play when you put it up in the air like that.
Yeah. Also,
What upsets
you enabled Daniel Jones to achieve the greatest dream of any NFL player, to sign a giant contract and then get injured.
exactly. So what I'm upset about is just how inconsistent the defense played, and we have a lot of talent on this
hold up.
defense. We have a lot of
This area is
potential in this
off-limits to
defense,
passengers. Wait a second.
but the
You're
execution is
Captain
not
Wolkoff's
there,
guest, right?
and nowhere
Didn't
near
expect
as
to see
much
you
as it is
down
with the
here.
offense. And
So,
every
what's
week
new?
when the offense continues to absolutely style on the teams that they're playing against, it just becomes more glaringly
Yeah, a
obvious
little. A few of the techs
how
got his
not
head
playing up
done.
to the standard that they should
I think
be
you
the
can see why.
defense really is.
Not exactly Starfield
However, I'm
has comfort
extremely
down here.
pleased with the offensive
Don't
line
get me
work this
wrong.
whole season.
Quiet gives me time to
A lot
gather
of
my
people will
thoughts,
shit
catch up
themselves
homework,
over how
and
amazing
all
our
that,
running
but
backs are, but I think they're just a product of
which
how good our offensive line is and how much pressure Tua
I'm
is
the
taking
Siren's
off
chief engineer.
of the running
So I
backs
get to put
because
in charge of the entire
he's an
tech team.
insane deep ball
We
threat.
do our best to keep the
You know,
ship
between the
running
weapons he
smoothly
has
and
and how
efficiently.
excellent his
Of
arm
course,
is,
this beauty
defenses
is a
have to
cutting-edge
play
piece of
back.
spacecraft
And because of
design.
that, it's
Almost
really,
everything has
really
triple
easy for our running
redundancy,
backs to get a
like
lot
the
more
life
yards than
support
they would
system. Unfortunately,
if
that means there's quite a
if
bit of
they had a
downtime.
really crappy quarterback and really
Good numbers,
crappy
though,
receivers.
right? Oh, sorry, that area's off limits.
So that's why I let
No
off with
exceptions
saying a
allowed.
win is a win, because I'm all like, there's plenty to be happy about, there's
Yeah,
plenty to be
that'd be
upset
nice.
about, but we got the
So
W.
bored down here.
And at the end of the
How did you
season,
get
I'm
here
not even
to
going to
get it from
remember this
Paris?
pick six.
Tell you what,
Right.
I'm just going to step out for a bit and stretch my legs. Maybe you can hold this for me while I'm away?
Being 4-1 is nice though. Being
Whatever
first
you
in our
do, don't
division is
break
nice.
anything,
I
or I'll be
said
out of a job.
I said after we lost to the Bills last week that
There's some
this is
heavy
when the Bills are
security
strongest,
protecting this
is the
area,
beginning of the
but
season.
judging from the
And as the
fact
season
that
goes
this
on, they
is the
cool off
life support
hardcore
control,
to the point
it
where they
certainly makes
inevitably
sense.
make the playoffs and disappoint. And considering they lost, I mean, like the Jaguars aren't as bad as they have been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, oh my God, you lost to the Jaguars. But that still is a team that the Bills had no business losing to. And they lost pretty bad. So I'm going to sit here and say, yeah, I think the Bills falling to pieces is right on schedule.
Bills need to be able to run the ball, and they can't. It bites them on occasion. All right,
Yeah.
let's kill everybody on this ship.
Nice.
All passengers, may I have
Well, you
your
know, I know
attention,
that
please?
ever
captain
since
has
Marshall got
declared a
banned, that
ship-wide
Kyle is now king of the
emergency.
hot takes
Please report to your
in the
cabins
Discord.
in an orderly fashion.
But I don't have an
and
issue with
remain there
Kyle.
until
He's
you
just
receive
kind of a
further
lolcow,
instructions.
if you know what I mean.
I know, and that's exactly what I'm bringing up here is that during that Cowboys Niners game, he sat there and said, "I'm going to be so pissed when Purdy wins MVP." And I was like, "What? What?" I thought that was pretty funny. Like, obviously, because we haven't played the full season yet, these are the only games we have to judge anything off of. But people just, and I get it, because like a lot of guys mentioned their ages. Like Kyle mentioned a few days ago, he was 18. I'm like, okay. I mean, I get it. You know, you're prone to quick reactions and not being patient and thinking things through.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're crowning anyone as MVP, regardless, in October, the only thing stupider than that is crowning him as MVP in September.
Well, it appears
Hashtag
that we've
Miami Dolphins
definitely
September
ruined the
champions.
party.
But
Everyone's gone.
I think that the person who wins MVP this year is probably going to be someone who's not even in the conversation right now.
They'd have
But
to go
someone
crazy.
who, if well, what I mean by that is like somebody who I don't mean they're playing bad. I mean it's going to be somebody who's not getting all the attention right now, but they're still putting in the work and getting the numbers. And then as the season goes on, and then all the front runners start to, and suddenly everyone's going to be like, "Well, damn! I guess it was this guy all along." But AFC right now looks like a dumpster fire in terms of the
Little bit.
big top level teams that everyone's like, these guys are going to be the ones that are
I mean,
shoe-ins for kicking ass. I'm like,
the
oh, good God.
Chiefs get so many favors from the refs, it's not even funny.
Yeah, definitely.
There was a play today where a Chiefs player got called for pass interference in the end zone on a monster play, like the play of the game. So a Chiefs cornerback gets called for pass interference, and he's so mad, he rips his helmet off, which is a penalty.
Mhm.
So the referee goes over and tells the player to put his helmet back on instead of throwing a flag, which is really bad. Now
Yeah.
they talked the flag over, the pass interference, and decided to pick it up and say it wasn't PI, which was understandable. But they went over to him and like literally said, "Put your helmet back on," rather than throwing a flag. That was some of the worst. That's one of the worst things I've ever seen. If I was a
Yeah,
Vikings fan at that game, I'm running onto the field with no pants on.
based. To be fair, though, if I was a Vikings fan, I would do that every game. Yeah, the league's making it too obvious what they're doing. Because
Can you
I'm not going to sit
believe
here
the
and say
size
that
of
the
this
Chiefs have
cabin?
been like a
It's
team
large
with
enough
a
to
lot of
accommodate a family
adversity,
of 12.
who've been the underdogs playing against the evil
May
referees
I have your attention,
all
please?
along.
The
But
captain has declared a ship-wide
I was wondering if you were the
emergency.
cause of the
this
ship-wide
whole Taylor Swift
emergency.
thing made it
It's
way
time
too
you
obvious
stop
that the
playing
Chiefs are
games
getting
and
babied by the
tell me
league
why you're
because
here.
they are fucking sobbing at the potential to see the Chiefs win another title this year and then have Taylor
First
Swift
of
being
all,
part of the
you're in no
celebration.
position to demand anything. And
I mean,
second,
can you imagine that shit if the
you
Chiefs
must
make the
think I'm
Super Bowl and then
stupid.
Taylor Swift is the
There's no
halftime
way I'd
show?
possibly incriminate myself by handing over the evidence.
Like a license to print money. So they're gonna
Claudia
work
said that.
really hard
You
doing
sure?
shit like that,
Damn
exactly
it.
what you're talking about,
That means
making
my
it way
money's
too
already
obvious.
gone.
Like, this is even worse than
Dombrowski's
when the
going to
Patriots were
walk
the
away
darlings
with
of
a
the league because
fortune.
of blessed Tom Brady,
I'd love
and
to
then
see the
fucking
bastard
deflated
fly.
balls happened.
But if I give you that
Like,
information and it falls into the wrong hands,
Jesus
I
Christ, man.
could end up in jail.
Oh, that was comedy. But, yeah.
Dombrowski had the authorization to wipe out records on Galbank's system
It
without
doesn't
raising
matter.
any red flags.
You know,
I
how
let
much they
Claudia
love
talk
Taylor
me into
Swift and
that.
how much money they
She
want and
said
all
she
this
had
kind
him
of
wrapped
crap.
around her
Tua's
finger.
gonna kill them all
Apparently,
in the
she was
playoffs.
wrong.
You heard it here first, folks.
At least I walk away with something. All right, you have yourself a deal. Here, with this slate and this recording to tie it all together, you'll be able to nail his ass to the wall. He'll do whatever you want. Just remember that you promised to leave me out of it.
All right.
Wait a moment. Are you telling me that this scheme is getting so out of hand, it also involves the Crimson Fleet?
May I have your attention,
That's all I need right now.
The captain
Enemies
has
on two
declared a
fronts.
ship-wide
Just because I'm helping you nail Dombrowski
Please report to
doesn't
your
mean I'm
captains
turning
in
my
an
back on
orderly
UC
fashion
security.
and remain
How
there
else am I
until
going to
you
ensure that
receive
he ends up
further
behind bars when all
instructions.
this comes crashing down? No. You can leave me out of your merry little band of pirates. Thank you very much.
So, a couple years ago, there was a movie made by Adam Sandler that starred Kevin James as Sean Payton.
Mhm.
It was a movie about the year that Sean Payton was banned from the NFL and he was coaching his kids' football team. So it was basically like a comedy about Sean Payton coaching football uh, a youth football team.
Yeah,
And
that does sound like a great recipe for comedy. Could you imagine him doing a Bounty Gate thing with a bunch of fucking children?
so the Jets, after they beat the Broncos today, tweeted this out. Pretty good.
I can't wait to see it.
Because Sean Payton was talking crap about the Jets this offseason.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, that's
You better tell Dombrowski to run, Because if you don't
I
kill
mean, I think Kevin James has lost some weight recently, but I still can't understand him playing Sean Payton because Sean Payton has never been as fat as Kevin
The
James
siren of the
has
stars is
ever
now
been.
in
Like,
emergency
even though
standby.
Kevin James has
Please
lost some
remain
weight
calm
recently,
and
it's
proceed to your
still
cabin.
Yeah,
goddamn.
they should have just let Idris Elba play Sean Payton.
Yeah, that's exactly what he should have done.
All passengers are being asked to
Oh
return to their
god,
cabins at this time.
and had Ryan Gosling play Mike Tomlin. Jesus Christ.
From this point forward, I don't think we should be seen communicating.
Let's see. So I was ahead by 2 in fantasy football, and my opponent had nobody left, and I had the Cowboys defense left. So the only way I lose is if the Cowboys defense lost 3 points. So I left them in thinking, what could possibly go wrong? And they lost 3 points.
Oh no.
Because you can actually just bench your defense and not have a defense and take a guaranteed 0. But I figured that was the pussy way to go about things. I didn't want to be a little bitch. But yeah, I lost by 1 point.
Well, big ups on being a man about the whole thing. However, you have just experienced what life is actually like for a Cowboys fan,
Yes.
where you sit there and genuinely ask yourself what's the worst that could happen, and then they do exactly the worst possible thing that they could have done.
I was like
And you just sit
Miami
there.
last night, the Hurricanes, not kneeling the ball
Oh
and losing the
god.
game.
Yeah, seriously, what the fuck was that?
The team they lost
What?
to, Georgia Tech, that's actually Moogle's alma mater.
Oh, nice. Oh, right, I remember him saying that. Yeah,
That's why he likes Chris Bosch.
exactly.
All passengers, may I have your attention, please?
It was really
The captain
funny
has
that
declared a
busted-ass
ship-wide
Hurricanes play,
emergency. Please
because,
report to your cabins in an orderly
like,
fashion
the announcers,
and remain
while it's
there
happening,
until you
they're like, what the
receive
hell are they
further
doing? Why don't they just knee
instructions.
it? Why are they trying to run it? What happens if they fumble? And then they fumble, and he's like, yeah, you get exactly what you fucking deserve. Like, why would you not take a knee?
Yeah. You're familiar with the Miracle at the Meadowlands, right?
I believe so.
The Giants and Eagles were playing back in like the 80s or 90s or something, and the Giants had the ball in the lead. Eagles had no timeouts. All they had to do was knee the ball out. But for some reason, the quarterback refused to knee it. So they ran a handoff play that did not work. They fumbled it, and the Eagles returned it for a touchdown.
Right.
And let me see if I can find the play. I think this is it. Right. Late 70s, okay.
Well, well. You must be the one who's been accosting Claudia and Gabriel. I'm uncertain what you hope to accomplish here, but it appears we should rapidly enter into some sort of negotiation.
It is the stupidest. My god.
An all-timer.
Au contraire, my misguided friend. There's a bargain that needs to be hammered out, and you will listen to the facts before we proceed. First, it's clear that you've obtained insider knowledge of my arrangement to defraud Galbank. The means and the method, perhaps, but not the motive. And second, I'm going to hypothesize that my compatriots are despondent regarding their share and have assisted you with this endeavor. Since we're speaking and I'm not at the reporting end of a bullet, this leads me to conclude that you desire something personal from me.
The guy who returned that fumble for a touchdown, the legendary Herm Edwards of "You
Nice.
Play to Win the Game" fame. The guy who plays to win the game. You play to win the game.
Exactly.
I see. Well, that certainly places a damper on our negotiations. Perhaps I can hasten my diatribe to temper your violence-ridden contribution. In blunt terms, you have compromising materials about me in your possession. The only thing I have to offer in return are my Galbank credentials. I assume that's what you've been angling for all along?
Oh, do get on with this. There's only so long I can stand being in the presence of this pig.
Quite a shame that you need to resort to blackmail to arrive at the point of equity in our discussion. However, I will acquiesce to your addendum. It appears we've reached an accord. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me simplify that for you.
Oh, I didn't know the Ravens had a punt
Sounds
block.
like we have a deal. Oh, of course, I trust you'll understand if I ask for us to avoid any further contact. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to formulate how I'm going to utterly ruin two very annoying business associates. Good day.
Please report to your cabins in an orderly fashion and remain there until you receive further instructions.
Please!
Something's out there. Don't leave any of that behind.
I know.
Got all worked up for nothing.
So, I drank another cup of coffee this morning. I liked it more. It's still overly bitter to me. But I had some appreciation in it.
I'm not going to sit here and say that you don't ingest much caffeine. But what I will say is this. Any caffeinated beverage, when you drink it for the first time, and it's not like filled with a ton of different flavors, is probably going to taste like shit. But then the more you drink it, suddenly your body becomes more acclimated to it and it starts to taste a lot better. Because I do drink a lot of Coke Zero. If I went a month without drinking a single can of it, and then at the end of that month I drank one can, even though it's like my favorite
I'm uncertain what
caffeinated beverage, after a month of not drinking it, it will taste like absolute shit to me. It will genuinely taste like sludge, and it's just gross, disgusting garbage.
I assume that's...
Oh, do...
But then after a few days of drinking, at least one can a day, suddenly it's right back to being my favorite caffeinated beverage. So I'm like, what the hell? And I think coffee is very similar. You have a cup when you haven't had a cup in a very long time, and you're like, oh my god, this tastes like fucking dog ass. What the hell is this shit? But then you have at least a cup a day, and then after like a week, you're like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah. It did make me wake up. I cannot deny that.
No. Please.
Set aside anything useful and just leave the rest. Ah, waste of time.
I'm assuming that if you go to a place like Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, they put so much sugar and shit in there, it's basically a dessert.
Yes. What you said about Dunkin' Donuts, big time. Dunkin' Donuts' special seasonal pumpkin spice frappe that they have. If you get the fully loaded one, the largest size, it has more sugar in it than if you had decided to instead get a dozen donuts and scarf those down. And that's pure just sugar. We're not even talking about and anything else. It's just when you would go to look at the nutritional information when it says grams of sugar, it's fucking good God.
Lining up for my Dunkachino. What's my name? Dunkachino.
Hey, hello to my chocolate blend.
May I have your
I will say this definitely, because I forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about the Dolphins Giants game. The thing that really upsets me about the pick six, as I look back on it, because like we won, why would I care? Well, it bothers me because it came right after an amazing fucking play from Tyreek, and it invalidated the whole thing.
Right.
So sad. But I do have to give a ton of credit to Tua today. He did an amazing job because what the Giants were doing is their defensive game scheme is they're like, we're just gonna absolutely cover the middle of the field. Because this is how Miami destroyed the Broncos, is that they were just going crazy over the middle. So the Giants sold out on covering the middle of the field. And every huge play that the Dolphins had today was just centered around going to the sides.
Yep. And they loved that bubble screen. They ran the bubble screen a million times in that game from what I saw.
Oh, many fucking times. And I'm sitting here, I'm laughing. I'm like, why would you not adjust? Like, okay, the scheme has completely and utterly failed. Let's go with something else. No. Let's just keep letting them torch us on the sides of the field here. Let's just let Tua continue running that fucking bubble screen until his arm falls off. Like, oh god. All you guys in fantasy football, you desperately need to secure yourselves a Miami Dolphins player while they're still healthy. Because these guys have some of the most padded stats in the league right now. It's gotta be just like tremendous amounts of disrespect. Between that and then also, you know, just playing really bad teams.
Well, you saw the stat, right? That the Dolphins now own the record for most yards gained in the first 5 games of a season.
Yeah.
I think it's like 2,520 or something.
Right, and it's like I said about the Seahawks when they had their 11th sack game against the Giants. Now, every good team can dominate a bad team, but not every bad team, because bad teams have always existed. When you fucking break history either way, then you did something that nobody else did when they went up against a bunch of stiffs and shitter teams. You know, so like that 11-sack game was outstanding. Because even with how bad the Giants' offensive line is and how sackable they are, Miami only came out and had 7 sacks on the day. That's not 11. That's definitely something to be happy about and proud of. So then, like you're saying, with Miami now the most yards in the first 5 games, it's like there have been plenty of great teams throughout history who had easy starts to their schedule against awful teams. And they didn't get as many yards as we did, so fuck you. Like, never let them take away from when you do something special like that, because they're just trying to play down when something amazing happens. And those 11 stacks were really something special.
History in the making. I am stealing so much shit. I've gotten in so deep on pretending to be a pirate, I actually am a pirate.
Nice. The dream.
Ooh, I've always wanted to be a pirate.
All passengers.
Exactly.
May I have your attention, please? The captain has declared a ship-wide emergency. Please report to your cabins in an orderly fashion.
You know, she was
and remain
surrendering. You
there
don't need to
until
shoot her,
receive
dude.
further instructions.
You don't have to be that extra about it. It's peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. And hey, we get to spend this whole week laughing at the Cowboys because they don't play again till Monday. That's always cool.
Hey, that isn't yours.
Nice. I definitely feel like Cowboys fans are the Knicks fans of the NFL.
Nowadays, yeah. I mean, the Cowboys are historically very successful, but it has not been that way for a while. The Knicks have never really been successful, is the difference, I guess.
Right, and certainly not to the levels that the Cowboys were in the 90s. But, that is what I meant is nowadays, because I'm like, with the Cowboys, they seem to think that every single year is their year. Until it inevitably isn't. And then they just always have the same shocked reaction. How did this happen? It's like, really?
Their owner is a very good bullshitter, and they buy into it very well.
All passengers, may I have your attention, please? The captain has declared a ship-wide emergency. Please report to your cabins in an orderly fashion.
And since he somehow managed to convince people for several decades that he's not a mummy.
Man. So there's more sugar in a pumpkin spice latte than in a can of Coke, right? Because Coke has an obscene amount of sugar. Coke is like 12 teaspoons or something, I think.
Let me check. There are 39 grams of sugar in a 12-ounce Coca-Cola can. Wow.
Everything will be fine.
Is in Dunkin' Donuts Pumpkin Swirl. So yes, the seasonal special, the Dunkin' Donuts Pumpkin Swirl Frozen Coffee, has 185 grams of sugar. It's very nearly 1/5 of a kilo of sugar.
Are you a fan of pumpkin spice, personally? Do you like it?
I've never really tried it.
Neither have I.
I'm not interested in trying it, you know. Between that and, you know, obviously women love it, but anytime I've had a girlfriend who goes to get that pumpkin spice shit, you know, if I even look at it sideways, you know, she just starts hovering over the fucking thing like she's protecting the Sultan's treasure, so I'm like, oh,
Receive further instructions.
You know, if it's so damn popular that women love it, why do they only have it for 1 month? Why not have it a year round?
Create interest and make sure that that level of popularity and shit, because like Ow. I think I've heard it described that it's all like the biggest secret in around regarding that shit is that pumpkin spice is actually it's like a cinnamon flavoring.
Mhm.
And if it was around for too often, people would know that. But nah, I'm with you. It seems like a license to print money, but I definitely think it's by keeping it seasonal, they create almost artificial demand
Oh, it's like
because they've
Cartman's
created
amusement park.
essentially. Plus, it could also be, the whole seasonal thing. Like it fits in autumn time because there's a lot of Christmas-related stuff that's extremely popular, but they only do it during December.
Someone go get her!
All passengers, may I have your attention, please?
Just my assumption.
The captain has declared a ship-wide emergency. Please report to your cabins in an orderly fashion.
Initially, I was
Remain
gonna
there
bring up the
until you
comparison of
receive
the
further
the
instructions.
McRib,
Hmm.
and then I started thinking of the Krusty Burger Rib Witch
I
when
remember that episode.
Krusty was announcing that they were gonna have to discontinue it, and he's all like, "Well, the animal that they use the meat from to make the sandwich doesn't exist anymore. The only thing I can tell you is that it has 6 legs. I've already said too much."
I'm pretty sure you weren't supposed to take that.
I have to admit, those things look pretty. Those river witches never look particularly appealing.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, because even though you were homeschooled, you only missed out on high school,
All
right?
hell's breaking
No,
You
loose
I
still
in
went
missed
this
out on
to...
society, and
elementary.
the UC's on its way.
Oh,
We don't
well,
have long.
never mind then.
Well, this isn't the road I would have taken.
I'll
Hey,
have to
you got the
explain to you
job
then.
done.
When
You're
you go
crazy.
to,
You know that? I'm
uh,
pretty sure he didn't ask you to
typically,
turn his Starliner into a
and
bloodbath.
again,
But
folks,
then again,
this was over
I
20
bet he
years
didn't
ago
say
when
not
I
to either.
was in elementary school, so I have no idea what the fuck it's like right now. Because, again,
I'm
for
glad you
me,
feel
that
that
was
way.
20 years ago. For
Just
you guys,
remember to
it
tell
was
Delgado how much I pitched into him.
some of you, like some
You
guys,
know, I'm still
that they're
wondering
16, it was
exactly
like only
what you needed
fucking
those credentials
6
for.
years ago.
You feel like telling me,
But,
partner?
when I was in elementary school, they had
So he told you to keep it
in
from
their
me.
little
I see.
lunchtime menus in the cafeteria and
Well,
all
then
this,
you
they
won't
had
risk your position.
what was essentially, it was supposed to be called like a rib patty or something. It was pretty similar to McRib, but it was just like processed pork. It was essentially cast into being that rib shape, and I'm like, ugh, you know. When I was a kid, that shit grossed me out. And you have to be very shitty in order to gross out a kid, because kids will eat fucking anything, pretty much.
Yeah.
And anytime I saw the McRib, I always just saw like the rib shaped patty that they had in there. It just reminded me of that. I'm like, that's probably all it is.
Yeah.
Is it's just processed pork meat stamped into that
All
shape.
right. I will be right back. I gotta
Yeah, no
change my
problem.
laundry. Okay, we are back.
Like I did, so I'll just leave it alone. Anyway, I suppose there's nothing stopping me from rejoining you now. It's been a long time coming. I owe you one, Dover Beach. Nonsense. If there's one universal constant you can depend on, it's that Yevgeny Rokov always makes good on his deals. Always. All right, we better get out of here before Trident sends rescue ships to investigate. Hopefully, the next time we meet, we'll be aboard the Key.
All right.
I have things for you.
Is mining on the schedule today?
If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later. I do? You must have read my mind. Admiral Logan's office shouldn't be terribly far. Let's go.
I'm assuming Snack stepped away for a second.
No, I'm here. What's up?
Okay. No, nothing's up. I just didn't hear you for a minute.
Oh.
Hey, this might have not been that far from you.
Let me check this out. Based off of that caption, I expected to see Larry David.
Oh man, that's a Curb episode right there. He's gonna have fun with this one.
Oh, hell yeah. Do you actually think he'll bring back that one fucking...
Hopefully.
Oh, man. God, rest in peace. Funkhauser, you beautiful bastard. This would be an amazing fucking episode for Funkhauser if he did it on this.
Proud Jews wear yarmulkes.
Exactly. I can't really tell where that is, because, like, one thing about Southern California is that you don't have to live in the city. If you just live in the county, a lot of people refer to they live there. Like, you may not be in the city of San Diego, but if you're in the county of San Diego, you still consider yourself as living in San Diego. You may not live in the city of Los Angeles, but if you live in the county of Los Angeles, you still consider yourself living in Los Angeles.
Attention, our scan indicates you have contraband on
So
board.
because of that, this thing is saying, you know, that's in San Diego. I'm like, that could be anywhere. And I'm trying to see if I see anything distinctive in terms of, like, the layout to where I could recognize where that is, and I'm all like, it looked too fucking similar to everything. I could think of like 5 different towns that could be off the top of my head. I have no idea where that took place. But pretty funny though. Yeah, that's
Switching over
You
to
are
standard
entering
engine.
Oh, shit. Okay.
man, those comments are great. I wish I could say some of them. But yeah, the stream will get banned, so I'm not gonna. But
Okay. Well. Okay, I think I know what to do.
Undocking complete, Captain. Small jump. Nice work.
This is UC Space. You are cleared to dock with the Den.
We have a clean dock. Right on the money.
Man, I might get to 600 Twitch followers by the end of the month. But it all feels pointless because Twitch is so obviously starting to go in a bad direction. They're laying off more people.
All right, Captain. Where are we headed next?
yeah, that's still pretty good though.
For now. I can't believe they're not profitable despite how much of a cut they take of everything.
I asked my boss what they're doing to stop new alien attacks on the city. He said top minds were on it. Sure hope they know what they're doing.
I know we're not a priority for the Vanguard or the youth. Haven't seen you around here before. Welcome. Good to see another Vanguard.
This is a Forbes
Right.
article
Okay.
from June,
Was afraid I'd gone
speaking
another
directly
trans.
about Twitch.
Nothing against you
Twitch is an
personally, of
unprofitable
course.
business constantly tasked with actually making money by the hugely profitable Amazon. Twitch streamers are dramatically underpaid for the hours they put in, but even policies meant to help them have significant catches and are not getting them to where they need to be. In an article titled "Twitch is starting to feel like a failed state."
I'd just like to know who I'm responsible for before they show up on my doorstep. You need anything? Say the word. We're short on luxuries here, but for a fellow Vanguard, I'll do what I can to help.
Yeah.
Fly safe.
Alright, here we go. Twitch is not and has never been profitable, not even since the Justin.tv days. Its costs are too high, so what it does pay creators already is too much for their eyes. A rival like YouTube is able to support its live stream ambitions with its very profitable video arm, something Twitch does not have in any meaningful capacity and has not been able to ever effectively craft. Most other live stream rivals have failed out of the business, like Microsoft's Mixer. A new upstart like Kick is offering great terms to creators, but it's easy to imagine that after these initial offerings that will begin to understand the costs of running a platform like this, those deals will likely not stay as rosy as they are now. On the creator side, leaked earnings reports from Twitch have revealed that only 0.01% of streamers make even the equivalent of minimum wage on the platform. Sure, you've heard of the big superstar millionaires, but they are an impossibly tiny fraction of the market, and even many of them have left Twitch for greener pastures at YouTube because of their policies. A significant way that Twitch could make more money and therefore get on a path to profitability would be to have more ads on the site. That's how YouTube makes its billions, after all. But Twitch streamers are enormously skeptical of increased ad demands on their streams, given what it does to their live audience. Not like YouTube, where you get an ad at the start you can skip, or one or two in the middle of a recorded video. Twitch is a live platform, so if ads suddenly show up in the middle of your stream where you're forced to stop whatever you're doing, this annoys viewers and many of them may leave. Twitch, in another brilliant decision, rolled out policies that limit how sponsorships can be shown on stream, ways creators can make money without Twitch ads, but that was such a bad call that they had to quickly walk it back. Good lord. And that makes you feel old as hell, because I do remember watching Twitch back in the Justin.tv days, and it was around 2011 or so.
Me too.
So, because the article says this problem has been going on for a decade, and I'm like, oh, fuck me. But, the sheer existence of Twitch, along with the other competitors popping up, obviously, live streaming is something that people like, it's something that they enjoy, it is a form of entertainment that has become exceptionally popular, as far as entertainment goes in current year. But all the other competitors to Twitch failing miserably, and the only reason that Twitch still exists is because they're literally owned by Amazon, and Amazon is willing to take them as a loss to have that content be available.
A new customer.
All those other
Welcome to the
competitors going
menu
down show that
and see
while this
them.
is an
It is a
exceptionally
pleasure to
popular
make your
form of
acquaintance.
entertainment, no one has yet figured
Yes, of
out how to
course.
make it a profitable form of entertainment, which is very strange to me. I think, considering that a subscription has been $5 since the old Justin.tv days, maybe they should just increase the subscription cost.
Yeah, people are just gonna have to bite the bullet and be willing to pay for their entertainment that they like.
Exactly. Like, if a subscription is $5 a month, and the streamer only gets half of that, that's pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have 100 subscribers, then you've made $250 a month. That is baffling. Matter of fact, let me check. .5 times 0.4. They said 7.
Honestly, I kind of feel like Denver's just going to lose every game they play this year because their defense is that bad. Like, it's so hard for them to even conceive of winning a game because they can't even stop teams on the most basic level, it feels like.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of guys who are starting on this Denver defense right now will, within 3 seasons' time, be playing in the XFL or the Canadian Football League if they're playing in a professional organized way at all.
The amazing
I
thing
don't.
is, their defense was really good last year, and it's mostly the same players. So I guess they all just collectively decided, we've had enough of this league. Peace out.
I wouldn't be surprised. But I was just making an assumption based off of how bad they are. With you telling me that it's most of the same players, that just says it clear as day to me. I retract the statement that I just made. Denver's intentionally tanking, and they're making their defense. They're straight up telling their boys to just not try.
Yeah,
So they
think
can
about how
suck and
furious
lose.
they must have been when they won a game last week.
Oh, dude, they had to be pissed. They're like, are you kidding me? Are you telling me that we actually fucking humiliated ourselves by giving up 70 fucking points? And it wasn't enough for you bastards because you have to go steal one from the Bears on the way out? Be mad as shit, dude. Like, imagine you were in a situation where you had to humiliate yourself every day and then something happens where, like, it was all for nothing. That's gotta suck.
How do I have contraband on me? I'm very confused.
Ah, a new customer. Welcome to the trade. Our stock mate. And seeing it. It is a pleasure. By all means.
Okay, is there anything here that's contraband? No.
Be back in a minute. I'm gonna get some food
Okay.
here.
Alright.
Ugh.
I watched Wilson's post-game presser. His ability to babble incoherently when trying to answer something is pretty next level.
If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan. Want to see what I'm carrying?
It's not that.
Admiral Logan's office shouldn't be terribly far.
Then what is it?
When you have a moment.
You look well.
Nah, I didn't feel it. In fact, I think people are bullshitting. I don't think there was an earthquake here. I think everybody's making it up. It's like some kind of Mandela effect. Hey, Scarecrow Bar. Win. They had a really good first drive, but then everything went to shit.
All green on release. We're free to fly.
Okay, where can I get my ship back? Like, this ship sucks. But where's mine? I'm gonna teach you a lesson. Okay. Fine. Okay, so I guess this ship might just have contraband on it and I can't get rid of it. Fuck.
Navigation checks out.
Yeah. unavoidable. Where did I leave my ship?
All green on release. We're free to fly.
I'm not here. Yeah, I've never wanted Jerry fired until this last week. I'm calling for his head now. Give a damn.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. Board the Vigilance. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try to find the Vigilance. Maybe my ship's there.
Oh, I shaved my beard and I cut my hair. I've got a mustache now. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh my god, I can't even recognize you." I'm like, that's the point. A couple warrants out for. I mean, good lord.
Okay, where's Mars? Alright. Let's see if this works.
Nice job. We're right on target. Oh, next, did you see the fucking GoFundMe that the friends of the guy who got stabbed in, I think it was New York, started?
No, what happened?
Apparently a bunch of guys who were friends of the guy who got stabbed and killed in New York started a GoFundMe to raise money so they can afford to take time off work so they can grieve.
Oh wow. Bro, with everything that happened to that dude, I wish that there was some kind of fucking Ghost of Christmas Future scenario where that guy could see what would actually happen after he died. And it's all like, while you were being stabbed to death, your woman just watched. Not even with a horrified look on her face. She watched it with a kind of morbid curiosity. Then she decided we shouldn't make this about race. all your friends started a GoFundMe, not to pay for your funeral, but so that they could afford to not have to go into work. They wanted to take advantage of you dying to make their lives easier.
Civilian vessels are allowed to dock at Deimos.
These are the peoples that you claim are important to you, that matter to you in your life. And look what happens after your murder. The way that they react to it, and what they did.
Would you have done things the same way?
Exactly. Like, fucking Foxford comic, big time at that point.
Yeah. It makes me think of, do you remember Molly Tibbetts?
Yeah.
I always thought that one would never be topped, but I think it's been topped.
That one was truly one of the most disgusting and despicable things I'd ever witnessed. The father, that poor girl. It's like, I don't want to make this a racial thing. I love Mexican food. Like, bro, really?
I assure you, white people are more than capable of making a taco.
Seriously. I mean... Just the dumbest fucking shit, man, for real.
Lack of love.
Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not looking. Okay, let's see here.
Nice. Clean sip there.
One second.
Must have been a good jump. We're still in one piece.
You know, there's an episode of Mad Men, I want to say it's like pretty late in the series, where one of the characters gets attacked by a black guy in the park in New York, and he refuses to describe the suspect to the cops because he doesn't want it to be about race. Art truly does imitate life sometimes, man.
Yeah. I'm like, isn't it supposed to fucking take place in the 50s? Who the fuck would ever say or think that shit in the 50s? My god.
The 60s.
Well, even better then, because fucking if you turn on the news, the only two things being covered was Vietnam and the race riots.
No, Mad Men actually did a lot of stuff with the race. And the 60s were like, you know, the hippie movement, there was some of that starting to come out.
Welcome back, Agent. You're clear to dock at docking port 1.
Docking cycle complete.
Time to get this ship moving.
I have no idea if they caught him or not, Scarecrow Bar. I would assume they didn't because she won't even give a description of him. Like, it's pretty hard to catch a guy when they don't have a good description.
Hey. It's good to have you back. What can I do for you? Glad to hear it. Let's see what you got.
I realized my mic was muted. Internet flues have the high resolution image of the guy because the whole thing happened on camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's footage from multiple angles of the thing. They put all that together, so they compiled a high resolution image of the guy. So they know what he looks like. They just got to find him. But you know, a lot easier said than done.
Fair enough.
I really wish Madden didn't suck. Because, like, I really want to play a football franchise mode where you rebuild a crappy team and put them together and make them contenders and have fun doing that. I used to love doing that in Madden, but it is so awful.
It's amazing
Game
how this
experience playing
romantic
this shit
nonsense
now.
about
I
Crix's
wish
legacy
anyone other
really just
than EA
amounts to
was
a
able to
rumor
make
Jasper
football
Crix
games.
picked up in jail.
Yeah. You
It
could
just
play
goes to
Tecmo
show
Bowl
you
on the
how
Switch.
a tiny rumor can snowball into a
Lamau.
full-blown fairy tale.
I missed
Find anything else?
NFL 2K.
Tisk, tisk. Looks like Mr. Rokoff lied on his application to Trident Luxury Lines about having a clean record. No matter. Next time he jumps from the key, we'll have him picked up. That will be one less fleet captain for us to worry about. Any other fragments? Are you kidding me? Dombrowski was already making a six-figure salary, and yet he couldn't resist starting an embezzlement scheme. It makes me sick. It's gonna be an absolute pleasure to throw his butt in prison. Anything else? All right. Keep up the good work. Let me know if you need anything else.
Heard you made.
Okay. All right. Very nice.
Off with something called the Earth Savior Award. Damn pirates will let you steal anything that isn't bolted to.
Maybe... Okay, this must be considered contraband.
I have something for you if you have a moment.
Okay, Crick system.
Operation complete. Get tired of that?
What are you hailing for? Land in the key or don't.
Just trying to be polite. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Things for you.
You want to kick back? Avoid the last Nova. Bugs in a funk that'd kill anyone. Next time you see Bog, tell him the lights up.
Okay. What do I do, huh? Okay, let's try to find her. She's got to be somewhere around here.
Anything ship related? You're at the right place.
Rook, good luck with the mission.
Every captain here's earned their stripes, bleeding for the fleet.
Alright, come on. Damn. I don't know, I'm confused right now.
Are you looking to start something? Because I'll finish it.
Is Samina seeing anyone right now? Patience. I gotta sort it in.
Yeah, people do that to Wikipedia sometimes. You know, on the Mariners Facebook group that I'm in, there's a lot of people trying to defend Dipoto for what he said. Like, oh, the Astros only win 54% of their games too, you know, shit like that. It's like, that's not the
Just
point.
stop cheating.
It's not the point. The point is, you should be trying to win every game you play. You're obviously not going to. But for you to say our goal is to win 54% of our games makes you sound like a turbo nerd. It makes you sound like a giant virgin.
Yeah, what he should have said is our goal is to win 50% of our games, because you either win or you don't. I completely agree with you. It doesn't come off as being a turbo nerd to me. What it comes off as instead is being a very old school kind of guy, but who's trying to pretend that he's influenced by numbers and that he's thinking about stats.
Yeah. That's actually an interesting way to put it.
It's like it sounded to me like one of those things that he and a team of people coaching him in terms of here's what you have to say in the presser, trying to tell him something like, well, you know, statistically, the last 3 World Series champions only won 54% of their games, or some shit like that, and he got his fucking wires crossed at some point, and then he tried to say that shit, and thought that it sounded right in his head, and thought that it made him sound like he had some semblance of what the fuck he was doing. Until it actually came out of his mouth, and then he's all like, boy, that landed really not the way that I was hoping it would.
I can guarantee we got the best. Anything that keeps the. Just let me know when you.
You know, you can't sit there and imagine anybody who's actually like up on the up and up in terms of sabermetrics to actually say some shit like that. That is just.
Yeah.
I like my weapons like I like my coffee.
Just like, even if you want to sit there and put it a number of like, you know, our goal is to win this percentage of our games, at least shoot for 60. At least say, you know, our goal is to win 60% of our fucking games, because that would actually be impressive.
Mm-hmm.
$162 games in a baseball season, and 54% of that would be 87.5 wins, but round that up to 88.
Which is exactly what the Mariners won this year, coincidentally.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, goal achieved. You missed the playoffs though. Like, meanwhile, 60% is about 97, and I'm all like, yeah, 100 game or 100 win season. That's pretty fucking good. That'd be my goal. And that's another thing. Saying the fucking percentages. Why? Say how many games you actually want to win. You know, I want to have a 100 win season. That's a fucking admirable goal. Let's fucking go. Oh god.
Okay, where the hell is the contraband, though? I don't see any unless... Wait, I just had an idea. And also, the other thing is, technically it's true. Like, you want your team to peak and valley, right? You want your team to win 100 games a year for a few years, and then maybe valley down and win like 70 games so you can tank and get draft picks. And maybe it averages out to 54% over like 10 or 20 years, but the implication he made was that if you win 54% of your games, you're going to make the playoffs. When this team has won about that many games, like 4 times in the last 6 years alone, and it hasn't been enough to make the playoffs. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I think you were talking about the Mariners fans in the Facebook group trying to defend them, is that if you try to understand or justify or say this is why this is totally acceptable and it works, blah blah blah, the actual just straight up numbers that he was talking about, it's exactly like you said. You're completely missing the point. What he said was retarded.
You don't say that out loud.
Yeah. Like, good fucking lord, what was he thinking? Because obviously you're in a heartbreak of a situation where you missed the playoffs by 1 game, and you really wanted your team to make the playoffs this year. There's a lot of heartbreak going on. People are looking for an answer. They're looking for an explanation. They're looking for some semblance of hope. Come up with that's awful.
It's almost like you're trying to say, I know we missed the playoffs, but it was still a successful season because we won 54% of our games.
Right. You know? I mean, he's sitting there like, well, we might not have made the playoffs this year, but if we win exactly this many games next year, we'll definitely do it that time.
My pocket wristwatch calculator told me that if you look at the PER of our team, it was actually better than 2 teams that did make the playoffs.
Good to see you.
Exactly. It's like, dude, just shut the fuck up and win important games, you know?
Remember the wristwatch calculator stuff on the NBAB? That shit was great.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love what Bond did with that. Even though he didn't start it, he took the ball and ran with it. That was great. Good shit. And then, like almost everything that was valuable, Webstitch killed it.
Clamps released.
Why? I still can't get over a Knicks fan being a LeBron fanboy. Like, that's gross.
Well, he is gross. Subhuman, you might even say.
I guess the Paul George stuff was pretty good, honestly. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, it was really funny at first because it was constantly shitting on the Pacers, and then the Pacers were just like fucking owning the next hardcore. Then it just looked like this hilarious gig of coke. Really funny. But then Paul George broke his fucking leg in a horrifying fashion, and they was like, "See guys, I told you Paul George was garbage."
We see again. Grease all ships. We have a hostile in orbit.
Our scan detected contraband on board. Halt and prepare to be boarded. All illegal and stolen goods will be confiscated. You're on the wanted list. Hostile ship in orbit.
Well, I'm going to get shredded. Damn it, I didn't think I would have to get cleared for landing to go there. Dude, well, what am I gonna do? This is actually kind of a problem. I'll be right back. I need to think about this for a second.
Yeah, no.
Nice to see you.
Hazardous weather snow? How is snow hazardous weather? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
For driving, maybe?
I guess.
All I can think of.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay. So I guess I can't do this yet. But this is a problem. Maybe I need to install the scanner thing. That's the only thing I can think of.
Something you might be interested in.
Oh, did you have a chance to take a look at microphones yet, by the way?
Yeah, I went to the Best Buy that's closest to my house now. They don't have it there, so I was like, oh fuck. Alright, I gotta get it off Amazon then.
Okay. You know,
Yeah,
why did Best Buy survive, but Circuit City went under? Is it because of alphabetical order?
You want to stay under the radar.
it's actually an
business
interesting
and no
question.
fun.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Oh.
How did
Yeah.
Circuit City fail and Best Buy didn't? Perfect. The Time article talking about this exact same situation, why Circuit City busted while Best Buy boomed. There's no mystery as to why the number 2 electronics retailer in the United States filed for bankruptcy. You can blame it on the bad economy or decreased consumer spending, but the real culprit is good old-fashioned bad management. Circuit City was incredibly successful in the 1980s and 1990s, but they never changed after that, says David Schick, an analyst at Stifel Nicolaus. If it had adapted, it might have ended up like a Steve rival Best Buy, which in August reported both increased sales and a quarterly profit of $200 million. This article was written in November of 2008, by the way. Circuit City reported a loss of $239 million in late September. Circuit City became complacent, a fatal mistake in the fiercely competitive and fast-evolving retail electronics industry. Problems began a decade ago when Circuit City failed to secure prime real estate. Its out-of-the-way locations were often just inconvenient enough to tempt customers to head to other retailers like Walmart. When Circuit City stopped selling appliances, it didn't move as aggressively into gaming as it should have. They missed out on big in-store promotions with thriving companies like Apple Computer. It created an opening for Best Buy, now the top electronics chains in the United States, to surge ahead. Finally, the cherry on top, Circuit City neglected to improve its web presence just as online retailers like Amazon.com were hitting their stride.
Makes sense.
Yeah, basically Circuit City failed in every possible way, made the exact wrong decision in terms of preparing for the future. Didn't partner with rising stars in industries that would eventually become titans, like Apple. They completely failed to predict that gaming would become actually popular, so they didn't bother selling it until it was extremely obvious that they needed to. And they also stopped selling appliances, which, you know, if your entire business model is basically that you're just trying to sell electronic goods, which is to say anything that works off of electricity, to boomers, but then you don't sell appliances, you're just, why would anyone go there? Don't have the best anything. Your prices aren't good. Black.
What the heck?
Apparently also, around the time that Circuit City went under, again in 2008, they were still using computer software for their actual systems in store, dealing with service and checking people out and everything, using programs from 1995. That's pretty brutal. Yeah, they had to use each of these programs was a separate program to do each of these tasks. If you wanted to find out if something was in stock, if you wanted to find out when the next shipment was coming in, if you wanted to check out a customer, if you wanted to look up the customer's account, all of those are different programs that they have to waste time loading up the program, logging into the program with their employee information, and then finally, after all that shit, actually look up what it is that you were trying to look up. And just think about how often that shit happens in a regular transaction when you go to a store and you're looking to buy something. Did you sit there and say, hey, do you guys have blank? Yes, we do. Or, no, we don't. Oh, you don't? Well, you getting any soon? Yeah, we're getting some in the next week. Okay, could I go ahead and pre-order that? Sure thing. Do you have an account with us? All of that requires separate programs the entire time. So, like, obviously, it's going to massively hold up how long a fucking transaction takes. It's going to be a huge pain in the ass. So yeah, just an incompetently run corporation that was just begging to go under, is what it sounds like.
Wait, what? Okay. Hopefully this works. I think it worked. Yeah. At least the Astros lost. That was nice. That was a nice little nightcap, I guess. If we get a Minnesota versus Arizona World Series, that would be pretty aces. That would be pretty good by me, man.
That would be outstanding. It was very similar to when we had a Cubs Indians World Series when you're like, holy shit. Whoever wins this one, it's going to be amazing. And then the Cubs actually won in an amazing fucking series. That was...
You know, Moogle actually has the video on his Facebook of him reacting to the Cubs winning the World Series.
Yeah.
Nice. I haven't had a Facebook since 2012.
I have things for you.
I haven't posted on my Facebook since 2012. Alright, let's see if this works or not.
Wow. That's kind of crazy. Because these series that are getting played right now is best of 5. The Orioles won 101 games. And they're one loss away from getting swept.
Yeah, that's baseball, man.
By the Rangers. That is insane.
That's how it is in
Like you said, with the peaks and valleys, you know, if you get hot at the right time, then it doesn't matter how bad you were before. And if you go cold at the wrong time, it doesn't matter how good you were before.
Like, the Braves were the best team in the league by far this year, and they could get swept.
I'm hoping that the Dodgers get swept. Let's go. Ugh. Oh, God. That's crazy. You know, Resident Evil 8, when it came out, it was first person also, just like Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
For some reason, Capcom released an update to Resident Evil 8, totally free, where they make it a toggleable feature.
Oh.
You can go third person now if you want.
That's going to appeal to some people for sure.
Yeah, the vast majority of streamers and YouTubers and everything, just everyone who plays it and makes content of them playing it, they're pretty much all using third person, because since the game was designed for a first person concept, both in terms of creating a horror atmosphere plus challenges for the player because they're in first person
Might not
mode,
be Jemison, but this
third
ship is
person
starting to
makes it
feel like
almost
home.
laughably easy even on the most difficult settings, because it lets you see around corners, it lets you see a lot better your surroundings when you're trying to hide and be stealthy, or to not get taken off guard by someone who's
The
going to
fleet
ambush
protects our
you.
own, but you
Ship
turn
services?
against us, and you're dead. Sure.
Kinda nuts.
Oh, yeah, nothing like changing it up to make a ship.
In first person mode are much slower than they are in third person mode, so every speedrunner does third person only. So now they have different categories of the speedruns for first person only, and that is insane. I don't know why you'd want to shy away from first person though, because I mean then you get a bigger view of giant vampire wife's humongous ass. That's the whole reason to play, right?
I mean, I haven't played Resident Evil 8 yet. My understanding is that it wasn't considered to be, like, particularly excellent. Like, it was not as good as 7.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like 8 as much as they liked 7, and I think it's because 8 was trying to be the first person concept, still, you know, the reminiscent of the Outlast style gameplay, but they blended it very much with action dynamics to be more reminiscent of, you know, Resident Evil 3, and it makes the game kind of feel almost like a regular old first person shooter that just happens to be taking place in the Resident Evil universe. So a lot of people said that it just felt severely off-brand.
I picked up something you
I think it's a good game.
I'll play it eventually. I'm sure I'm gonna like it. I don't know if I'll love it, but that's fine. You don't have to love everything.
Right. Well, I mean, Resident Evil 7 was a great game, and I don't think anyone disagrees with that, but it really didn't feel like Resident Evil. Because up until they released that Chris Redfield DLC, it had next to nothing to do with anything Resident Evil at all.
Are you looking to start something?
Ugh.
Because I'll finish it.
Anything ship related, you're at the right place. If you've got
Say
the
it.
credits,
Hot takes for you.
I bet you will.
Brock Purdy's a bust.
That is very hot. Alright, guys, I'll be right back. I gotta take the trash out.
Okay, we are back. I'm probably not going too much longer, by the way, guys. I just want to figure out this ship thing that I'm having issues with. So, Caravel. Okay, now attach the new. Can I add a second one? I don't think so. Aha. It won't work. Oh, the engines are too big. Oh, that's kind of cool that they actually keep track of that. R. Here. Okay, can I do better than 190? No. Okay. 190 is the best we can do. Okay. Let's see if I can add one more scanner somewhere. I don't think so. I don't think it can go anywhere, though. Okay. Hopefully that'll do it. Because if this doesn't work, I don't really know what I can do other than shrink the size of the engines.
I have things for you.
To add more storage.
You see, Sis Def is a joke.
I picked up something you might be interested in. Docking seal released. Grab jump down. Oh, we're stuck.
Fuck. Oh. Okay. That was not good. It was funny.
You see, Sis Def is a joke.
This is a joke.
I picked up something you might be interested in.
Iran-backed group confirms Israel killed their leader in an Egyptian airstrike. Why did Israel bomb Egypt?
Whoa. Man, if you think Israel bombing Egypt is crazy, just wait till you find out what they did to the USS Liberty. Uh-oh.
Do you need me for something?
Okay, I should have enough storage to fit all that in, but I think the odds are still very much not in my favor, so...
Detached. Let's get out of here.
Okay. Let's see if we can make this work.
25%. Okay.
Maintain course and prepare to be scanned.
Come on, come on, come on.
Attention, our scan indicates you have contraband on...
Damn it. Okay, we're gonna just have to keep doing it until we win.
Must have been a
United
good job.
Colony Space.
We're still in one
Maintain current
piece.
course while we scan for contraband. We say again, respond immediately.
I wonder if it auto generates success or failure when you travel. So just in case, I don't want to sit here for a year trying to make that work.
This is United Colony Space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband. Scan
Yes.
complete. You're cleared to land at New Homestead.
New Homestead, eh? This place hasn't changed much since
Welcome
the
to New
2100s.
Homestead. Please make your way to the building at the end of the path and down into the colony below. Stay safe and enjoy your visit.
Guess I'll do this first. Probably have to.
Interesting. The last thing I expected to stumble across at this type of settlement is a museum. Might be worth a look around.
Okay. So, what are your plans for tomorrow, offhand?
Pretty much the same.
Okay. So we can do BG3 if you're up to it. I know you didn't feel up to it tonight, but all other things being equal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
So you said the next thing we do after Raphael was, who was it? It was, Goulash? What's his name?
Gortash, yeah, that's the next focus there. Taking care of that. So it's pretty extensive, the things you gotta do to take care of that guy and then make the run on him and all that kind of shit, so
Okay.
we'll work on it. And
Those folks in Sidonia may be closer to Earth.
Yeah.
But we do a better job preserving.
you said you're taking Thursday and Friday off?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool. Well, I pretty much always take Wednesdays and Thursdays off anyway, because those are definite waste of gas days, because, like, there's no fucking orders. Anytime I force myself to go out there, I very quickly end up regretting it.
The people here live a simple life.
So, yeah, Thursday we could definitely pump through a lot. Make the final run, if we haven't finished by then.
Okay, so yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we had it beat by Wednesday, honestly. Offhand.
Yeah. But we'll give it our best shot. And then after that, you can start doing some Halloween runs of Spooky Game.
I really need to do Resident Evil 7. Like, that game's been on my list forever, and I've just never gotten to it.
Yeah, ever since they did the RE4 remake, a lot of people have been wondering what the next remake is going to be. Because there's a lot of a question in that sense. Because they're like, the oldest game that they've never done a remake for is Code Veronica.
Yeah, that's, I think, the no-brainer. That game has not aged very well.
Right. But they also did Resident Evil 0 at just about the same time that they did the first remake. And that first remake itself is so old that it came out on the GameCube. So, considering that they've restructured like every Resident Evil game from not being the way that it used to be, and now is more Resident Evil 4 action style, I wouldn't even be surprised if they went back and redid the first one again.
Yeah, that's getting a little excessive. A remake of a remake? It's like, come on. This is getting more creatively bankrupt than Disney.
Achieving orbit now.
Which is very true, but at the same time, when you think about it, that's what we're seeing from a lot of these Japanese game studios right now. I mean, seeing them about to do a remake of Snake Eater, it's like that's just about all they've got. Especially with how Resident Evil 8 was not as popular as they were hoping it would be, and yet Resident Evil 4 remake did fucking gangbusters. It's like, well, I think we should just keep remaking the games that actually did well that people like instead of making new ones.
What if they remade like Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy?
Oh god. There's a lot of not numbered Resident Evils that they could revisit that may be a good idea and may also be a terrible idea. I myself love light gun games.
Oh, Resident Evil Outbreak.
Yeah, that they could redo that. They could do I think they did one that was called Dead Aim. Let me check. Resident Evil Dead Aim. Yes, I'm correct. That was a thing on the PlayStation 2. Came out over 20 years ago, February of 2003. Resident Evil Dead Aim is a light gun shooter game developed by Cavia and published by Capcom, the third Gun Survivor title in Resident Evil series and the fourth and final game in the Gun Survivor series. I feel like checking it out.
Yeah.
And you've got that. Then the Dark Side Chronicles and the Umbrella Chronicles were light gun games also. So I'm all like, I would love if they just, because none of those games were extensively long. I'm all like, if they rebuilt an engine specifically for that with modern day, they could do like gigantic collection, Resident Evil light gun anthology. That would be something else. But of course, that would cost them way too much. So,
all right, guys, thanks for hanging out. We made good progress, but I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and go to bed. See you guys in the morning. Probably more Baldur's Gate tomorrow, but good to make the occasional bit of progress in Starfield. See you guys later.